Welcome to all. My name is Ganesh Javalkar. I am working as assistant professor in NP Navle Siagat College of Engineering, Solapur. I have completed my ME in civil structures. I have total experience of 19 years. So today we'll start with the topic pile foundations. So let us go to the pile foundation topic. Now here this pile foundation basically comes under deep foundation. So deep foundation it is divided into two parts, pile foundation and caisson foundation. Now today we will start with unit number 5A, that is pile foundation. So these are the some points which we will discuss under this topic. So first we will discuss introduction about the pile foundation, then classification, then single pile capacity for RCC cast in situ pile in cohesive, non-cohesive and mixed soil by static method, and there is another method, that is dynamic formula or dynamic method. Next point is negative skin friction. Then under rim piles, its equipments, construction and precautions. So that concept we will discuss. What is the under rim piles? Load bearing capacity of pile group. Load bearing capacity means you can say it is a pile strength of pile. So pile strength, so already here we have here it is single pile we will cover first, then we will cover group action, load bearing capacity of pile group, then what is group piles, spacing of piles in group, and group efficiency, that we will discuss. So these are the some points, these are the points under the for the discussion under the topic pile foundation. But for today we will discuss only introduction. For today's lecture we will discuss only introduction and classification. Okay, let us go to next slide. So in introduction, deep foundation can be broadly classified in two categories. Pile foundation, then second is well foundation, that is caisson foundation. So basically pile foundation, it is generally it is on the ground, and well foundations or caisson foundations, so those are the foundations underwater. So those are also deep foundations, and pile foundation is also deep foundation. Now when we go for design, our first choice should be shallow foundation, because it is economical and ease in construction. Ease in construction means we can excavate very little amount of soil and construct our shallow foundation. And pile foundation is required when bearing capacity of soil is not sufficient. So here it is mentioned, bearing capacity of soil is not sufficient. And second point is no other choice is available. So no other choice available. For that I will give you one example, which is many times it is a gate example. Which type of foundation is suitable for following case? So it is given that area 10 by 10 meter, you can see this area, then area of land is given 10 by 10 meter, its load of each column, you can say, that is 4000 kilonewton, it is mentioned here. Then 4 columns each loaded with 4000 kilonewton. SBC is also given, safe bearing capacity, that is 100 kilonewton per meter square, that is given. Now from this data you have to choose whether pile foundation is suitable or rough foundation is suitable. So these are the two options given. So let us will start with rough foundation first, whether rough foundation is suitable or not, that will check. Then how to check this? So for this we will calculate total load first. So total load here it is 4 into 4000, that is 16,000 kilonewton. Then first choice should be given to the rough foundation and check whether it is suitable or not. Then from total load and SBC given, total area required for rough foundation, that will check. So that is calculated by 16,000 divided by 100, that you can see here. Then area comes is required which is required for foundation, rough foundation, is 160 meter square. Now area of land is given 10 by 10 meter, but available area for given loading is that is 10 by 10 meter, 100 meter square. So therefore area required for foundation is 160 square meter, so which is greater than area available. Therefore there is restriction on area, we cannot choose rough foundation. Therefore we will go for pile foundation. So this type of question may be asked in the GATE for 2 marks or 3 marks. So next heading is necessity of pile foundation. So what is the necessity? First necessity is if loads are heavy and soil is poor. So loads are heavy, that is loads coming on the building are heavy, multi-story building may be there, and soil is poor. Now in second point is expansive soil. Expansive soil means you can consider black cotton soil. So black cotton soils is having the property that is swelling and shrinking. So these expansive soils, in that case we can go for pile foundation. Now a third point is to transfer loads on a hard stratum. So hard stratum, if it is available much below the ground level, then in that case we have to transfer our whole building load or structure load on the hard stratum. In that case also we have to go for pile foundation. Then to resist uplift loads and horizontal loads, etc. So uplift loads means those are due to the presence of water table under the ground. And horizontal loads, horizontal load you can consider wind load also. So it is a horizontal load which is coming on the multi-story building. So for that also, to resist this uplift load and horizontal load we can go for pile foundation. And last one is to reduce settlements. So this is the main reason due to which structures are failed. So these settlements we can reduce. So this is the necessity of pile foundation. Now according to Terzaghi, so this ratio is given. He has given ratio df by b which is less than 1. So df by b means depth of foundation, df divided by b means width of foundation. So if it is less than equal to 1, means depth of foundation is less than width or equal to width, then it is a shallow foundation. If it is greater than 1, then it will be a deep foundation. So this ratio you can, by using this ratio you can classify the whether it is shallow foundation or deep foundation. And another ratio is given by Skempton. So that is according to Skempton, it is df by b which is less than 2.5. Then if it is less than 2.5, then shallow foundation, or else it is a deep foundation. Now deep foundation is a pile foundation. It is not a correct statement. Why? So because under deep foundations there are two categories. So underwater construction and ground at in the ground construction. So piles are generally in the on the ground construction, and underwater foundations, Cation foundation is there or well foundation is there. So therefore many times people are considering deep foundation means pile foundation, so which is not a correct statement. So many times this question may be asked in the interview also, or oral exam, because or again one more reason is because deep foundation may be rectangular, square, circular, but pile foundation in general may be circular or underrim. So these are the some reasons for the deep foundation. Then classification. Next heading is classification based on various criteria. So this classification is based on various criteria. First criteria is material and composition. Second criteria is mode of transfer of load. Third criteria is method of installation. Fourth is function or action, and fifth is displacement of soil. Now we'll start with first criteria, material and composition. In this, material means timber, steel, concrete. So these according to material, if you are using pile foundation, then it will be timber for light load, light weight you can use. Then for steel or concrete, you can go for heavy loads. You can use this steel or concrete for heavy loads. Then combination of above material, so composite pile. So these are the classification of pile for the according to the material and composition. Now next criteria is mode of transfer of load carrying mechanism. So mode of transfer of load, how the load will transfer from the structure to the foundation, and foundation will transfer the load to the strata, hard strata. So now in this case there are two types of piles are there, end bearing pile and second is skin friction pile. So these are the or skin friction pile, or only you can say friction pile also. So these are the two types of piles which comes under mode of transfer of load or load carrying mechanism. So first we will discuss end bearing pile. So end bearing pile means, you can see in the diagram I have shown the pile here. This is the pile, then load is coming on the pile, Q, surrounding is soil, then you can see ground level is there and hard strata is there, which is much below the ground level. So hard strata means your pile is resting on this hard strata here, and there is a reaction QEB. So here you can see pile is resting on the hard strata and there is a reaction QEB or QB. So there are different notations according to according to different authors. So the basic meaning is QEB or QB is base resistance. So this base resistance is developed when the pile is resting on this hard strata, and this base resistance will carry this load. So here is the load coming on the pile. So this base resistance will carry this load. Okay. Now, so these are the some points discussed here. Pile is supported by hard strata, that already I told in the figure. So once you remember the figure, you can discuss this figure and you can make your own wording also. So second point is load carrying capacity of pile is obtained from reaction at hard strata. So reaction I have shown here in the diagram. So load carrying capacity is which is obtained from the reaction. So like beam is resting on the column, then that column at the end of beam there is a reaction. So beam is carrying some load, and due to that some load there is a reaction at the end of beam, and that reaction will carried by the column. So likewise here also this pile is resting on the hard strata, and that hard strata is giving the some reaction, and that reaction is carried by the that reaction is carrying the total load coming on the pile. So this QEB, Q equal to this. Once you get the QEB base resistance, you can calculate the load Q, that is QEB multiplied by cross section area of pile at the base. That is important. At the base, what is your pile is having the area, that you need to consider. Then length of pile, length of end bearing, how to calculate? So simple, it is very simple. That is, what is the depth of hard strata? Depth of hard strata below GL will be the length of pile, length of end bearing pile. Now sometimes hard strata is not available, then in that case steep soils, this pile, end bearing pile, is also resting on the steep soil. Steep soil, why steep soil? Because steep soil is having lesser voids. Okay, I will discuss later. Let us go for next point. End bearing pile derive their strength and strength only from base resistance. Then if hard strata or rocky surface is not available, in that case pile will rest on steep soil, that I told you. Steep soil is available at larger depth below GL. Why it is available at below GL at larger depth? Okay, here is the reason. So if you see the diagram here, this is the GL. So much below this GL, if hard strata is not available, steep soil layer is available, because steep soil layer is having lesser voids. So at the top of GL, near the top to the GL, soil layer will have some voids, but much below the GL at a greater depth you can have lesser voids. So therefore there is a steep soil layer exists. So here as we go large depth below GL, steep soil is available due to effective stress concept and lesser voids. So this steep soil we can use for resting the soil also, resting the pile. Then generally base resistance is obtained from hard strata or steep soil at which pile is resting. Now second type of pile is friction pile. So you know friction, so friction between two surface. So now here two surface, there is no surface, any surface, but there is a soil mass is available, and surface of the pile, that is the, you can consider circumference of the pile, you can consider the perimeter of the pile, surface, side surface of the pile. So friction between soil and surface, friction between soil and surface, you can consider that frictional force will oppose the load, will resist the load coming on the pile. So here in the diagram I have shown pile which is subjected to the load Q, then this friction force along the sides of the pile I have shown QSF or QS. So that QSF which is developed due to the friction between soil and this pile surface. So this force is in upward direction, load is in downward direction. So this will get balanced, and here you can see the hard strata is much below the GL. Here this is the hard strata available. So therefore in that case, so to go for that larger depth, hard strata is much below, it is uneconomical. So therefore we will use this skin friction, skin resistance friction to carry this load coming on the pile. So here some description is given. So friction pile is also known as floating pile or hanging pile. Why floating or hanging? Because it is not resting on the hard strata. Then pile load carrying capacity totally depends on friction. So QSF is the side skin friction. Such pile derive their strength from friction along the side of pile. So along the side of pile there is a friction, and that friction means it strength of pile. Such pile are found in soft clay and loose sand, because in this soft clay and loose sand there is no hard strata available. Then length of such pile generally vary between 10 to 20 meter. So length of this pile, or you can consider depth of pile, height of pile below GL, that is 10 to 20 meter. Now length of friction pile is calculated here. Length of friction pile is calculated from development of friction along length to counterbalance the load with factor of safety. Next point is more than 20 meter it is uneconomical. So friction pile more than 20 meter it is uneconomical, because there is no guarantee that greater than 20 meter the friction will develop from soil. We cannot test soil at such greater depth to check whether friction is available or not. So more than 20 meter it is not practical to check whether it is whether friction is available in the soil or not, and also it is uneconomical. Then load carrying capacity is due to the skin friction developed between soil and pile. Then next type of pile is combined pile. So combined pile means, you can see in the diagram, so pile is resting on the hard strata also there is a skin friction resistance. So QSF and QEB both are developing in the combined pile. So combination of end bearing pile and friction pile, this is the point we'll discuss. Then load carrying capacity of combined pile, it is from QUP equal to QEB plus QSF. So both end bearing resistance and side skin friction resistance will carry the load Q. So ultimate load carrying capacity of the pile will be QEB plus QSF in kilonewton per meter square. It is generally used in the sand. Then next type of next classification is, it is according to the method of construction. So method of construction or installation. So these are the driven piles. So driven piles, the piles which are embedded into ground. So embedded means pushing in the ground with the help of hammer are called as driven pile. Then second point, such pile are essentially precast pile or timber steel pile. Such pile derive their strength from end bearing and skin resistance. So in the diagram you can see pile is driven with the hammering action. So below GL you can see the pile, so downward movement of pile is there, and due to this hammering action adjacent soil will get displaced. So this adjacent soil you can see here, and this soil will get displaced due to the hammering action. Due to hammering action means there is a vibration. So these are the driven piles. Now while installing pile, next point is, while installing pile, if adjacent soil get displaced, then such pile are called as displacement pile. If soil is not displaced while installation, then pile is called non-displacement pile. So this is one type of one classification, that is displacement and non-displacement pile. Driven piles, so this is more important. Driven piles are always displacement piles. So driven piles means it is a hammering action, means vibration. So vibration given to the soil, therefore soil will get displaced. So therefore driven piles are always displacement piles. So here I have mentioned one basic concept, that is displacement related to strain and strain is related to stress. So that you already known. Then driven piles are useful in loose sand and medium dense sand. So this you can read out. Then third, under this installation method of installation, first is driven piles, second is bored piles. So bored piles means here with first borehole is prepared in the ground, then it is filled with the concrete. So in this case there is no vibrations to the soil, so therefore there is no displacement of the soil. So bore is prepared and it is filled with the concrete. Another type of pile is there, that is called as under rim pile. So in this under rim pile, if d is the diameter, small d is the diameter of pile, here this bulb is prepared with the greater diameter than small d. This bulb at some intervals, at some specific spacings are prepared, so those are called bulbs. So pile with these bulbs is called as under rim pile. So this under rim pile concept we will discuss later. First go for bored piles. It may be displacement or non-displacement pile. Then these piles are cast in situ pile. Then bored piles are less efficient in comparison to driven piles in terms of skin friction due to boring action. So why it is less efficient? Because in driven piles we are getting friction and end bearing also, but in bore piles we are not getting friction from the soil, we are getting only end bearing resistance. So therefore driven piles are more efficient than bore piles. Then boring action means by circular or rotational motion hole is driven into ground. So that boring action means you know. Then under rim pile is not suitable in driven piles. So driven piles in case of driven piles, under rim piles are not possible. It is not possible. Okay, it is not possible. Then it is used in clays. So these bored piles are used in clays. Now third type of pile is there under the installation, that is driven and cast in situ pile. So both combination of this, driven and cast in situ. So how? So here hollow pipe is driven into the soil, then pile is casted in site using steel reinforcement and concrete in the hollow pipe. Then hollow pipe is removed using the cranes immediately after casting the piles, and shell and case is driven into the ground, then filled with concrete and used in the loose sand and medium dense sand. So combination of two bore piles and driven piles. So this third type of pile is this driven and cast in situ pile. So in that case hollow pipe is driven into the soil, then reinforcement and concrete is filled in the hole. Then fourth is according to function or action. So according to function or action, first is load bearing pile. You can see here load bearing pile. So load is beared load is beared by end bearing or friction. Then tension. So load bearing pile, you can consider the example of load bearing structure. So slab is transferring the load to the wall and wall is transferring the load to the foundation. So here also load bearing pile means load is beared by end bearing or friction. So means these two piles comes under this load bearing pile. Then tension or uplift pile. So uplift pile, it is to resist the uplift loads. So uplift pressure, it is due to the due to the water table present in the ground and below the ground. So here is, you can see pile is get uplifted. Here pile is get uplifted due to the uplift pressure, and friction forces will in the downward direction. So therefore it is called as tension or uplift pile. Then compaction pile, where compaction pile, so I will show the figure. So compaction pile is there here. So you can see, so there are some short piles also there. So those piles are used for compaction of soil only. So basic purpose of that short piles is compaction of soil is only. So when these are embedded in the ground piles, then surrounding soil gets densified, means soil gets compacted. So this is the function of compaction pile. So you can read here, compaction pile, when short piles drive into ground, due to this soil get compacted. That way it is called as compaction pile, which is shown in figure A. Then anchor pile. So again anchor pile for holding retaining wall or horizontal load, or to anchor the structure. So here is the figure B. Retaining wall is there, that is the structure which is subjected to the horizontal load. So this horizontal load, it is resisted by this anchor pile. So anchor pile is provided here in the soil. So this is the anchor pile for retaining wall or carrying the horizontal load. Then fender pile. Fender pile used in case of water structures to support impact load. Impact may be due to the ship. It saves the water structures from impact loads. So it is shown in figure C. So figure C, you can see the water structure is there. Here water structure is there. Then fender pile is here, some distance away from the water structure. So when ships are coming in this direction, so those will have the impact effect on the water structure and water structure may get damaged. So to prevent this, fender piles are introduced, or it is also called as dolphin pile. So impact due to ship, here I shown impact. So this impact is taken by the fender piles and dolphin pile. Then sheet pile. Impact may be due to sheet pile here used to cut off the seepage. It is shown in figure D. So now seepage is possible where the large amount of water is there. So large amount of water, generally you can consider dam. So here this is dam provided. So dam is having large amount of water, that is reservoir, and the seepage of water may be possible, and this seepage of water, it will go to below the dam, and this seepage of water below the dam will cause the failure of dam. So to avoid this seepage, we can provide this sheet pile. So sheet pile will break this seepage lines. So seepage line will break here, and this is the sheet pile. Now batter pile. So batter pile inserted into ground at an inclined angle, and inclined pile to resist lateral load. Now there is a, if there is an inclined force acting on the beam, then there are two components, vertical and horizontal. So from that concept, if you insert a pile with some inclination, so that is also called as batter pile. So this inclination will help you to resist the vertical load as well as horizontal load coming on the structure, and this is the inclined pile. So this pile will resist this vertical load and this horizontal load. So if you provide vertical pile only here below the structure, it will resist only vertical load. It will not useful in the horizontal load. So therefore batter piles are useful for horizontal as well as vertical load coming on the structure. Then displacement pile, that is the last category. Displacement of soil, so not pile, it is a displacement of soil. So displacement pile is there. First displacement pile and second is non-displacement pile. Due to driving of pile, large mass of soil is displaced. When diameter of pile is large, that is timber pile, more displacement of soil will be there. So this is more important. And second point, when diameter of pile is small, that is for example steel pile is there, small displacement of soil will be there. In case of loose sand, due to driving of pile, surrounding soil gets densified up to radius of 3.5 d, and in case of clay it is 2d. So when the loose sand is there, due to driving of pile, surrounding soil gets densified up to radius of 3.5 d. So if this is the diameter of pile, capital D I have shown, then 3.5 d, this is the surrounding soil. This is the surrounding soil, and this is the diameter 3.5 d. So up to 3.5 d, the pile, the soil will get densified due to the driving action of the pile. And in case of clay, it is 2d, that is 2 times the diameter of pile. Then non-displacement pile, rather than driving a pile, if we first bore a hole, then put a concrete to make a pile, then that I told you also, that is when you first bore a hole in the ground, then putting a concrete in the borehole, then there will not be any disturbance to the soil, so therefore soil will not get displaced. So this is mentioned here. Then during boring, soil is taken out from the borehole, therefore displacement of adjacent soil will not be possible. So soil taken out here from the borehole, due to this borehole there is no disturbance or no displacement of the soil. Now here they are given the some pile driving equipment list. So which are the equipments which are used in the pile driving? So list is there: single drop hammer, single acting steam hammer, diesel hammer, and vibratory driving system. So vibratory driving system will have the least noise and no hammers used in the loose soils. So these are the some list. So this equipment, you can, how it works, you can see in the animated videos. So this complete our first lecture. We'll start in the next lecture. We'll start with the how to calculate the load bearing capacity of the soil, sorry, not soil, load bearing capacity of the pipe.